Heading to Las Vegas to catch the action at Allegiant Stadium? Skip the traffic and the sky-high room rates of the Strip. Book your stay at the South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa. The South Point is located just 7 miles away from the stadium, and it's a quick trip up the freeway, making it an affordable rideshare or taxi ride. And don't worry about getting here when you land in Vegas. We offer a convenient airport shuttle to get your getaway off to a stress-free start. Shuttles are also available on Raider game days for a small fee. So whether you're rooting for your team or seeing your favorite band in concert at Allegiant Stadium, South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa is your ticket to all the excitement.
We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south of the border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
Ready to ramp up your excitement for playoff football? Join our hosts as they break down the matchups, key angles, and futures markets in the final episodes of Football Frenzy.
Seattle Seahawks get it done.
You look at these two teams and you say, wow, they did really well against quality opponents.
Brock Purdy to throw an interception tied up with the Seahawks in this game. I think that's a little bit of a correlation.
I would have given a huge ups to the Rams defensively. Not anymore.
Don't miss your chance to cash tickets and root for your favorite team. Stream Football Frenzy every Friday at noon Pacific.
Here we go. Super Bowl 60 is set. The New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks. Looking forward to that. We are going to preview that matchup here as well as look back to Championship Sunday. That'll be the first half hour of the show. Second half, we will touch on some hockey games and some college basketball. Have a little action tonight. This is Sports by the Book. We are live from the South Point Hotel and Casino. I'm Alex White, alongside, as always, producer and co-host, gives us some great analysis, picks and trends, Ryan McCormick on the other side. And at the desk with us today, Sportsbook Director here at the South Point, Chris Andrews, joins us as he always does on Mondays. Welcome in, both of you two. Exciting Sunday. AFC kind of flipped pretty quickly with that weather. And then the NFC gave us the game that we were all hoping for, yeah. Definitely. Chris, overall, how did it go for the books?
Well, not great. I mean, not terrible, but not great. You know, we booked a lot of teasers, and everybody knows we've got the best teaser prices in town, so we didn't knock out any of them, you know, at least on the sides. You know, everybody had crisscross, cross and zero, whatever. It didn't matter. You were the winner. Knocked out a few on the totals, but I was telling Michael, you know, when he asked me where we were before the game, there's just not that much on totals, teaser totals, you know, which is smart on the part of our customers. You know, but anyway, all the other stuff, you know, the props were good. Futures were real good. You know, straight bets were okay. You know, teasers kind of got us, you know.
That makes sense there. You, though, we're 2-0 with your picks. You joined us on Friday remotely, not feeling the best, but still gave out 2 winners, and don't shy away from that. I am proud of our crew. 5-0. We all like Seattle.
Oh, great.
In that one, yeah, including Dwayne Colucci and Matt Neverett. So that was good for all of us. But
Plus, Colucci had the winner in the Pegasus, too.
Did he?
I think it may have been on Ralph's show.
Okay.
You know.
You got to watch Race Day Las
Skippy
Vegas.
lawn talking, yeah.
So it was a good weekend all around. We got to dive into these games in this matchup.
Yeah.
You kind of already told me off air you don't love anybody, but let's rewind. Let's go to the AFC. And when you say props not good, this one, I mean, it was on pace, looking like we were going to get there with some props if you were on some overs. But then that second half, nothing really happened. 10-7 the final for the New England Patriots.
Sometimes you see some of these weather games, and it doesn't really have that big of an effect. This one had a huge effect. I mean, they could not move the ball, either one of them. And, when it was sitting on 10-7, I remember thinking, well, this game's going to end 10-7.
Yep.
And here he comes. But, again, you look back, and I know Peyton, Coach Peyton, even he was maybe ruining the fact that he did not kick that early field goal. There's nothing wrong with going up 10-0 at home with a backup quarterback and that great defense. And I think one thing I do think that we may see some of this fourth down constantly going for it. We may see that reverse a little bit next year because that bit a lot of guys in the ass, including in a high-profile game like yesterday. Easier
said than done after the game and how that second half went. But like you mentioned, you have a backup quarterback. You have a chance to go up 10-0. And I know it's just 1 yard, but still, I do feel like that one really, really hurt him there.
Well, I think it's, it changed the game because now you make it a 2-score game with that great defense that Denver's had all year. You make it a 2-score game. The thing is, if you make that first down, you're still, they're still over 10 yards away from a touchdown.
Yep.
It's not like all of a sudden you're in the end zone. It wasn't 4th and 1 from the 1. So, I mean, you had a chance to make it a 2-score game, and I think they kind of blew it there.
Well, the other thing is I think you could tell the Patriots had it in their mind, we're not going to turn the ball over, right? And they didn't ask Drake May to do too much. It was really, his legs that got him that win, I think, was the biggest difference maker there. So then if you are up 10-0, doesn't that kind of change the script for them too? Force them to start passing a little bit more earlier on?
Well, it was early. So, I mean, maybe not, but maybe it would have. It's hard to say, really. But I think, again, you're looking at, 2 factors, backup quarterback and a great defense. Man, you go up 2 scores. That seems kind of big. I don't know.
Ryan, any thoughts from you from the AFC Championship game yesterday?
Well, you guys were talking about props, and I did want to go back to the prop that we gave our viewers on Football Frenzy on Friday. We gave you guys first touchdown props, the favorite for each team. We had Ramondre Stevenson, Cortland Sutton, who did get the winning price there, and then we also gave you Puka Nacua and Kenneth Walker, who got the winning price there. So, Chris, did anybody take that 14-1 here at the South Point for Cortland Sutton to get that anytime first touchdown?
I'd have to look more closely, but I know overall, I just got the sheet this morning. Props are real good on pretty much everything, all the props. So no complaints about the props. And somebody listening to our show, cash a ticket, I'd say God bless. That's fantastic.
Well, I did say that 14-1 was pretty juicy, and don't overthink it. Just get the ball in your best player's hands. I did take a little bit. That was my only winner, really, in that game. So
14-1, you don't need too many winners.
That's true, yeah. But it wasn't here at this shop. But thank you, Ryan, for bringing that up. That is true. We did ask for that one. But then everything flipped. That was a great drive for the Broncos. And then after that, couldn't get much done.
Yeah. And I think, Peyton and, myself even, had some faith in Stidham. You can see he's a backup, and that one fumble that, they inadvertently blew the whistle should have been a touchdown. They scored the next play anyway. But, you could see just made some bad decisions. And, the guy hasn't played in 2 years. And all of a sudden you're playing for the AFC Championship to go to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Tough duty all of a sudden.
And then in those conditions,
those conditions just got progressively worse. But they showed the beginning of the game, everything looked kind of clear and fast, and then not at the end.
It flipped pretty quickly. Looking at the winner, the New England Patriots, we're going to hear a lot of narratives for the next 2 weeks going into the Super Bowl, and I think it falls somewhere in between. But there's one narrative about this path that they've been on, because it was the Chargers defense, the Houston Texans defense,
Right.
and now the Broncos defense. Their offense has not looked good against any of those three defenses, but they survived. They have 2 weeks to prepare for this matchup. On the other side, it's going to be the narrative of how bad the offenses were of these teams that they played with, the Chargers, the Texans, and then a backup quarterback with the Broncos. So, I mean, it falls somewhere right there in the middle, right? What do you think about this New England Patriots team that is going to represent the AFC this year?
Well, I think the point that you bring up about playing these defenses, they played, 4 weeks in a row now. They played some of the best defense. Now, those are 4 of the 5 best defenses in the league, and then I'd say the Seahawks are the other one.
Yep.
And depending on which order you want to go, and they're all kind of debatable, right kind of in that mix. But here, and Ryan, can you throw the schedules up for the two teams? I was looking at that this morning because, first of all, I made the number 4.5. So I think it's a perfectly legitimate number. At this point in time, I have no real feel for the game whatsoever. When I started looking, and it's something I've said over the years, that games can take on a life of their own. Okay, now let's look a little deeper into that. If this is a defensive struggle, which easily could be, then I think they'll be right in the thick of it. Because that's the way they've kind of played, much of the year, and certainly like the last 4 or 5 weeks. They've played those defensive struggles. I think the fact is Seattle can win one of those games. And you can look down, and I can't see all that far. But, you can see that Seattle can win some slugfests. They have that kind of thing with a great running game, great defense, keep Darnold from, turning the ball over, which he still has a propensity to do, by the way. But if this game takes on another different life of its own and becomes a high-scoring game and becomes a shootout, I'm still not over that cold. We could see, I don't think New England would have much of a chance. Whereas Seattle has won. Well, they beat the Rams in a couple high-scoring games. But again, you look up and down that schedule, they've won some high-scoring games. And, some of the teams, I wouldn't necessarily call them shootouts, but they had to outscore their opponent, even whether it was Arizona or, Washington. I'm kind of going off memory right here. But they think I think that the game could take on a life of its own. It becomes one of those high-scoring shootout matches, which we've seen in the Super Bowl. And again, I'm thinking back to the Philly and New England when each quarterback had like 500 yards, and Nick Foles was all of a sudden the greatest quarterback of all time. But then there's other games where what was it? The Rams and New England, was it like 17-3 or something like that?
That sounds right.
Yeah. So these games can take a whole bunch of different directions, and I think the Seahawks can win in either direction, whereas the Patriots can only win in that one particular direction.
I'm glad that you brought up the line right now. 4.5 for the Seattle Seahawks, the winner of the NFC, and we will recap that game last night against the Rams as well. Did you open right here at this number?
We opened 5.
Okay.
I saw it 4.5 and 5. I said, well, let's open 5. They tend, and again, it's painting with a very broad brush. They tend to play the favorite on the point spread and then the dog on the money line. That's been the pattern. So I said, well, it was 4.5 and 5. So let's open 5. So one of my sharp players did take the 5 this morning. We wound up going to 4.5. It looks like the whole market now is pretty much 4.5. And then we lowered the money line a little bit as well. So, but, I'm glad to see one thing. I was thinking if people were taking too much from that game yesterday, the Denver game, like, man, don't take too much from that. That's one game, horrible conditions. You have to look at not so much the season as a whole, but over certainly the past couple weeks to get a good feel for this New England team, which is a lot better than they showed yesterday. Even though they won, they didn't win easily, but they won. But I think it's one of those things where people over the course of years, I've seen them let the last thing they saw greatly influence them. I'm glad they didn't this time. Maybe bettors are getting a little more educated over the course of time.
The only thing I'll say is it is tough because looking at those 3 games, the Patriots have won 3 ugly ones so far to get to the spot. Seattle, I mean, that game against the Niners, talk about take a life on of its own. They dominated that one. And then yesterday, they were really in control for most of that game. Now, having Seattle, as we all did, I was nervous. I mean, it looked like Matthew Stafford was possessed, and he was like connecting with all of his guys. They had some great drives. So that great defense, I mean, couldn't really stop the Rams yesterday, but we know that is one of, if not the best offense in the league.
Yeah,
so I don't want to take too much from that either.
Yeah, Matthew Stafford played, the whole year as I think he's going to win the MVP. Yeah. If not, he'll finish second. But he played great the whole way and was great yesterday. And I mean, let's face it, he's got some great players, on offense. Puka Nacua and what was his name from the Raiders?
Yeah, Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams, who was fantastic. So I mean, he not only is great, he has great weapons, and Seattle did come through at the end, but I thought there was a great chance. When he took them down inside the 10, and I thought there was a good chance they were going to score, and we wouldn't have got the dough.
Was that Ferguson or was it Parkinson who dropped that ball, Ryan, at the end there in the fourth quarter? Because really, that one could have definitely switched it.
Yeah, I believe it was Colby Parkinson.
I think so too.
The point that I did want to kind of interject with is that the spread here at the South Point, the 4.5 or the 5, whichever way it moves, as long as you get here in person to bet that spread, you only have to lay a minus 105 to bet that spread. You don't have to lay a 110, a 115, a 120 like you do in other spots. You get a minus 105 price if you come down to the South Point and play the spread here.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Ryan.
Yes.
a real company man here. I like that. Yeah, that's right. We're going to have minus 105 from now until kickoff.
I will say you're pretty fortunate with your props in that second game because, Ryan, with how that game played out in such a high-scoring shootout there, it felt like it didn't matter which anytime touchdown player you took, right? All the big names scored. You had JSN, Kenneth Walker, Adams, Puka Nacua, and then even Bobo there. Some people had that. That was a pretty crazy price. We did want to ask in the chat, too. Let us know which was your best prop bet, best hit from this weekend between those 2 games. But any other thoughts between these two? I mean, we'll be breaking down this matchup for the next 2 weeks. We have plenty of time, but
we're going to get some of the early props going today. Some of the standards like coin toss and safety, and we'll go overtime, that sort of thing. And then tomorrow, Ashley Eck, who's upstairs, her and I usually put together all these props. She's taking off tomorrow. I got my Tuesday morning meeting, and after that, I'm going to probably take off too. So we're going to put up a few things today. Probably not much tomorrow, if anything at all. And then Wednesday, we'll just start filling it in and slowly graduating up to, we've had 300 props in the past. And, I might pare that down a little bit this year, but it'll be, 250 anyway. So, I'll tell you, if you look at that menu, if you can't find something to bet on,
right,
it means you don't want to make a bet.
Well, from your point of view, are you relieved you will not be making a bet on the side since you made it right here at 4.5? Or still kind of depends?
Probably not, but I'll probably look at some of the props and see what I like and see if I see any that, might be mispriced. But tell you the truth, and I'm not just blowing smoke here, but I'll probably listen to you guys a lot because you guys do a lot of prop work, certainly a lot more than I do, to maybe get an angle on some of these. And, some of the guys that come in and bet me, I might be able to follow them on some of the things, So I got a lot of sharp guys come in and fire at me.
It is fascinating. I'm excited to break this down. Do kind of lean to the Seahawks right now. I made them 5 as well. I think you kind of mentioned it. They have more ways to win this game.
That's the thing, yeah.
And we'll see how that plays out. But Rashad Shaheed, not a big factor in last night's game, but the Rams were ready for that. We'll see if the Patriots can do the same thing. I think he could kind of flip this game, whether it's special teams or being a big factor
Well, you made
the
a point
passing
too
game.
before we went on the air that Mike Vrabel has a lot of Super Bowl experience now, not as a coach, but as a player. And will that enable him to portray that to his team in a positive light? I think that you may have a point there.
I think so much of it is mental and just talking through it, right? And what to expect for the next 2 weeks, how the whole week of media goes, right? And then what you're feeling right before that Super Bowl. Haven't we seen it so many times too with coaches? McVay didn't win his first Super Bowl. That was the one you were talking about, that
The
low-scoring
3-point,
game, the
yeah.
3 points with Jared Goff. I don't think Sirianni won his first Super Bowl, right? And that's the meme with his tear, Ryan shaking his head. They fell short in that one. And then they were so mentally prepared for last year. Second chance, ready to go. We know what to expect. So that does I think that is a big factor. You got Josh McDaniels, who's been to plenty of Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
You got Mike Vrabel. We'll have to look to see with the Seahawks
See, that's
side.
interesting too, because Josh McDaniels, he's been there as a coach.
Yes.
So that may tilt the favor towards the Pats a little bit. But I think that right now I have no opinion in the game. I think if you went man for man up and down that lineup, I think Seattle's the better personnel. That doesn't always quantify as the better team. And a lot of things go into that. And I think this is going to be a really interesting matchup.
Agreed. And I mean, kind of what you just said, it's Indiana-esque in two different ways. I feel like Seattle is just clicking and they're peaking at the right time.
Yeah.
Like Indiana, don't make a lot of mistakes, kind of play as one. But on the other side, the Patriots, if you look at that defense, it's not a whole lot of big names there. But what they have done this year is tremendous. And I mean, they're all buying into Coach Vrabel's speeches, and so should be a good matchup here between these two. I am looking forward to it. Ryan, any final thoughts on Super Bowl or the matchup, or even from championship weekend?
Yeah, I guess one of the points I'll make here is I've seen on social media a little bit people saying that the Seahawks are going to have to suffer through the Niners practice facility right next to the electrical field, whatever. But that is not the case. The Patriots will be practicing at Stanford, and the Seahawks will be practicing at San Jose State. So neither team will be practicing at the Super Bowl facility. Both will be off-site, but near the stadium enough. So that's not necessarily something to worry about with the Seahawks. But my exact initial thought was exactly what you guys just talked about. The Seahawks being the right side, but then you take into account that the Patriots coaching staff has been through it in one way or another. Chris, you make the point that Vrabel hasn't been there as a coach, but he has been through it as a player several times. So kind of the Seahawks not really knowing how to navigate the media circus that they'll have to go through the next 2 weeks, but the Patriots having that familiarity of what that media circus is could give them the preparation edge there. But ultimately, I do think, like Sam Darnold did go to the Super Bowl with the Niners, but he was the backup. So he's been through the circus before, just not as the starter and not having to be the main guy that everybody wants to talk to. But I do think that, obviously both teams are going to be very hungry to win this game. It's the final game of the year, and whoever loses is going to go home very, very upset. But the Seahawks, knowing that they can win it in their division rival stadium, in the same locker room that they just won in Week 18 and celebrated their division championship in, they're going to have a different kind of hunger for this one.
And you do have Cooper Kupp, who was actually a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, he was an MVP,
with the Rams, so he can help prep some of the guys as well. But it'll be fascinating. And if people want to come watch here, plenty of Super Bowl parties here at the South Point, as always. First come, first serve. Free parking. You got to get here early and get your spot. But not only in the sports book, there's other spots that people can watch the big game.
Yeah, I talked to Mike Libinati, who runs the showroom, and they've been sold out. He's got a different plan this year, and that it really worked out well. So that's going to be sold out again for sure. And then we got there's an invited guest party, which Dave Jensen will be running that. But our big party, which we have the best food prices in town. No, we don't charge. It's we see so much that's wrong with Las Vegas, and this is the one place that has not bought into any of that. We still have decent prices on food. Don't charge for parking. Don't charge to come in. Listen, come on in and bet. We'll have plenty of kiosks and writers and all that other stuff. And it's really, excuse me, I don't mind saying it's the best party in town easily.
Same spot. People are used to it. Same spot that March Madness
Yeah.
for the first 4 days, right?
Yep.
So I love it. Yeah. I'm sure it'll be pretty packed too, as always. And just like
Yeah.
March Madness.
Yeah.
And the kiosks are so easy up there too.
Instead of having to pay the $100 combined with the admission to wherever you want to watch the party, you have $100 to bet here at the South Point with the free admission and free parking. So obviously, yeah, best price in town, best party in town.
So I've said it before. I'll say it again. Park your car, park your ass. It's the same price. 0.
I love it. All right, Chris, what do we do this week? This weekend? We've got no football. We have one more big game.
I know.
But we got a ton of college basketball.
Yeah.
These Saturdays have been great. But we just look ahead, right, to the big game here?
Looking ahead there, I'm hoping to get over this cold. I could hear my voice keeps tailing off. Yeah, got to start looking into college basketball a little bit. You're going to be with our team this year, as you were last year. We open the NCAA numbers, so that's always a lot of fun.
Oh,
So we'll have that.
looking forward to that big game tonight. Arizona, who's currently number 1 in the AP poll.
They're at BYU, right?
At BYU,
Yeah.
who's been playing very good.
Yeah.
So should be a really good
What's
game
that
there.
price? It was like 1.5, something like that.
1.5. I
low
think it
price.
might have moved to 2 now for the Wildcats. But they're a small favorite on there.
Yeah, good game.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we will talk a little bit more, see if Ryan has made any bets yet for Super Bowl 60, and then we'll get into hockey and college basketball. As always, thank you, Chris. We'll see you again this week at some point. We are actually looking forward. We're going to have 2 guests, so check the YouTube channel where we will pre-record. Katie Mox might actually be live, so look for that from CBS Sports HQ, and then Todd Furman is going to join us one of these days. So really looking forward to that to break down the big game. But we're not done yet for the day. We'll be right back here on Sports by the Book.
South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza. If you're celebrating a special occasion or just love fine dining, you're in the right place. Come experience the crown jewel of South Point restaurants, Michael's Gourmet Room.
Welcome.
With over 600 different types of wines and magnificent dishes prepared tableside, you'll revel in the rich classic Vegas decor and the best black tie service in the world. This intimate gourmet room has earned accolades galore. Come to Michael's Gourmet Room for an unforgettable dining experience. Another famous restaurant is the Silverado Steakhouse, where you'll find the charm and service that discerning patrons require. From top quality steaks and chops to fresh seafood and desserts, you'll love the award-winning wine list and menu at Silverado Steakhouse. Steak lovers have even more options with primarily prime rib. Catering to hearty appetites, the menu features a variety of flavorful prime rib cuts, dry-aged to ensure tenderness, and then seasoned and slowly roasted. Although prime rib is our specialty, it's not the only thing on the menu. There's something for everyone.
All right, we are back. Sports by the Book, live from the South Point Hotel and Casino. You can find us live 5 days a week, Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. and Fridays at noon, at least for the next couple weeks here while we are breaking down the big game. I've got to get Ryan's thoughts. Didn't really get to hear much from him, so we will do another recap of yesterday's big championship games. But Ryan, first, Ticker Trivia is live. You want to read that so people can jump in the chat? I love having everybody's big bets. We'll go through those as well from this weekend. Big winners there.
Yeah, we also did give you guys a poll today. So, but to start, we'll read you guys our ticker trivia presented by City Light Shine. Again, available at Lee's Discount Liquor, Total Wine, and here at the South Point Hotel and Casino. It's written 70 years ago today. The 7th Winter Olympic Games commenced January 26th, 1956, in Cortina d'Ampezzo, Italy. Further broken down into 8 disciplines, which 4 sports were contested in at these 1956 games? So we'll give you guys some time to answer that question, and we'll read the answer towards the end of the show. But we also gave you guys a poll involving 2 hockey games and 2 basketball games today, and it is Moneyline Monday. Which team are you taking plus money with on the hardwood or the ice? Gave you Abilene Christian at Tarleton State getting plus 180. Here at the South Point. Louisville on the road at Duke, taking on the Blue Devils, getting plus 330 there in Cameron Indoor. The Ducks on the road in Edmonton, getting plus 220 there. And the Mammoth in Tampa, taking on the Lightning, getting plus 145. So go ahead and vote in that poll. We also have a post available in the description of today's video talking about which spread you would be taking in Super Bowl 60. Again, coming down to the South Point, only having to lay the minus 105 for the spread there instead of a 110, 115, or 120 that you might have to lay at a different book.
Very good. All right, Ryan, let's get your thoughts. Let's start with the early game there, AFC, the snowstorm there between the Broncos and the Patriots. Overall thoughts, did you agree with Sean Payton and his decision to go for it there? And then what do you think about the Patriots after that win overall?
Yeah, I mean, Sunday saved my Thursday whiteboard. Got the win with the parlay from the national championship in both yesterday. Seahawks cover. Jared Stidham did have over 14.5 rushing yards. He actually had over 20. I think he had 23 total. But there was a plus 180 price over 20 yards there. So if you managed to take that one, good on you. But yeah, going on to what we said on Football Frenzy, and the weather report that I read is that there would be light snow and no accumulation. That very quickly changed. So when Sean Payton did go for it, I agreed with it. You need to score points to win these games, and you're trusting your quarterback to get it done. Ultimately, they don't score outside of the first quarter. So I mean, yeah, we can do revisionist history and say that you should take the points and all that kind of stuff. But in the moment, you have to do what you think is right, and that's scoring points in the National Football League. You don't think that you're only going to be held to 7 for the remainder of the game. So, yeah, I mean, ultimately, I thought the Patriots would win the game, and they did. So, Denver covers, which I didn't necessarily think would be the case throughout the week, but that's why I threw the Patriots money line on that parlay. But I do think, the right side won the game, even though some mistakes were made. If the Broncos were fully healthy, we might be talking about a different team being in the Super Bowl representing the AFC, but that's not the case. So, I do think it was a great game. The snow is absolutely beautiful. I get people don't necessarily want to be in the weather, and that's why we're getting more dome stadiums. Get over it. It's football weather. It's the fun of the game. And if you're a true football fan, you'll show up and support your team. If not, you're not a true football fan. And you can go to the Super Bowl and be in your dome stadiums and be part of the executives that are part of that experience rather than supporting your team and being an impact for that crowd. So, ultimately, both games, great games. One, we got a more defensive battle. Not necessarily the points that everybody was wanting, but again, defense is a great part of football. I wish we would get more physicality and not so many penalties. But again, we're doing wishful thinking and not what really matters. So Yeah, I do think we're going to get a great matchup in 2 weeks.
Well, it's a good thing I don't have a team, Ryan, because I would not be in that weather supporting any teams. But let's go to the NFC here. Do you think, because I saw some things, because the AFC, the whole road here has kind of looked like this, and they do play great defense. On the other side, we got a shootout between those two, but I don't want to take away from Seattle's defense. And I think you'd probably agree with me there. But overall, let's talk about and recap this one, where Sam Darnold, I mean, he got it done, and that was his best game, I'd say, of his career.
Yeah. I wouldn't disagree with you. We kind of talked about on Friday, special teams making an impact. We thought it might be more so on a return.
Yeah.
And it was the lack of a return and the fumble on it that makes special teams get an impact. The Seahawks up double digits, get the stop, force a fourth down, and then Tariq Woolen decides to chirp 2 yards away, bouncing down the Rams sideline to give them a free first down, and Puka Nacua scores a touchdown on the very next play because Matthew Stafford is a smart quarterback and attacks the very idiotic play that just happened. So the Seahawks had a chance to blow that game wide open and make it a three-score game. Didn't happen, and if the Rams did pull off a comeback, Tariq Woolen would be the most hated man in Seattle right now. But that wasn't the case. Seattle does end up closing it out and getting the win and advancing through the NFC. You talk about the defenses, though, and yeah, the obvious difficult path that the Patriots had to go through facing the defenses that they had to face in the Chargers, Texans, Broncos, and now the Seahawks. But the Seahawks had to go through 2 division rival opponents that did have very strong defenses, whether they were healthy or not throughout the season. So I in terms of being battle tested, I think both teams come into this game absolutely battle tested. And I do tend to think that the Seahawks, if we didn't have to do the media circus that they do, I do think the Seahawks would steamroll this team, steamroll this Patriots team, and really kind of prove that Drake May is in this MVP case because of the team that's around him, and because of the record that they have, not necessarily because of the most valuable player. I don't think he's actually the most valuable player to that team. I think it is much more of a team effort. I do think Matthew Stafford is the most valuable player to that Rams offense. But again, I digress off the point. We are going to have a great game in 2 weeks.
Ryan, the most important thing continued that you had brought up last week that I absolutely loved. 2 years now for Mike Macdonald being the head coach of Seattle and his record going up against his division foes. So now what is it after seeing a team for a second or third time? Yeah.
After a first meeting, seeing a team for a second or third time, Mike Macdonald is now 8-0. Still has a perfect record in those games. 6-0 in the second meeting and now 2-0 in the third.
Really incredible. I agree with you. If it weren't for the whole media week and then 2 weeks to prepare for this, I would think Seattle would steamroll them too. I mean, there's just so many ways for them to win, and we've seen it. We've seen the Seahawks go up 14-0 before they even took an offensive snap. They're so good in special teams and defense that when Chris says it could take on a life of its own, I think that it could. Now we've got 2 weeks to really sit on this, but that'll probably be the side I am on as well. Probably get involved with the spread, but definitely the money line for Seattle to get this win. You'll have to do some research because you brought up great points looking at turnovers and being battle tested in that way, comparing the Rams and the Seahawks. You'll have to dive into the Patriots and their season with turnovers moving forward, and we'll kind of look at that. But I will say Chris brought up talking about the Patriots and some shootouts kind of with the Bills. I mean, they split with the Bills this year. Second half kind of got away from them, and Buffalo got that win. There was a Sunday night game, New England versus the Ravens, and I think that game really was the reason why the Ravens were kept out of the playoffs. The Ravens were up 17, maybe even more, and found a way to lose that. And New England, that was one of the tougher times I've seen from them coming back and getting that win. Now, it was a quarterback change as well, because that is when Lamar Jackson got hurt after the first half. But still, I mean, all of that experience being in those type of games definitely helps when it comes down to the big one.
Yeah, that Patriots-Ravens game was coming off of a loss in which the Patriots lost coming off of their bye week to those Bills. So they lost the Bills 35-31, and then they came back and beat the Ravens 28-24. But you mentioned that Lamar Jackson did miss the second half in that game, so a pretty key piece there. And yeah, ultimately is what was one of the contributing factors in which the Ravens missed the playoffs.
Let's go through some of the big bets that people hit this weekend. Love to see it. I like how somebody had touchdown props, Puka Nacua and Kyron Williams, as we talked about at the top of the show. Pretty fun game. If you did have anytime touchdowns and even overs, we did like JSN last week, got there in the first half. He's amazing. And a couple other ones to seal the deal. But what jumped out to you in the chat?
Well, I did have Bob Custer disagreeing with my point that a snowstorm is part of the fun. We'll agree to disagree there, Bob.
I will say I don't like that it decides such a huge thing like a championship for the AFC. That's the one factor, but it's part of the game, so I get it. And I would more lean towards yours that it is what it is. It's football weather. You gotta win those too.
It's football weather. It's part of the experience. You get to, if you're a fan, you get to say, yeah, I was in that. I was there to watch my team either win or lose. That's why you earn home field advantage, to make people go into your elements, whether it be a mile high or in the snow, or with your crowd making a difference. It's part of the experience. That's why we love this game. And if you, we can agree to disagree. But we don't need more domes in this sport, especially in cities that think that it'll give them a Super Bowl nod. You're going to get one Super Bowl, and then you're going to be sitting in a dome wishing that you could have some kind of home field advantage, mentioning Cleveland here. But, yeah.
Any other props?
Oh, yeah. Agent 87 did let us know that he did have two winners yesterday. And then, Bob, yeah, you mentioned the Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams parlay there. Attila did have the Broncos plus the 5.5, did get the good number there, and then had the money line parlay of the two favorites that ended up winning.
Yeah, I know Attila also had some Broncos futures go up in flames like mine, matched up with either of the NFC, and I believe he had Seattle over Denver, so that one definitely hurts. But I'm glad to hear that he did hedge. I jumped in. I got my wish. I mean, Denver scored, and it was 7-0, and I thought to myself, should I just let this play out? But I grabbed 2.5 with the Patriots, so I was happy to do that. I also doubled down because when the Rams went up, I got 2.5 again with the Seattle. So good in-game weekend for me as well. But looking forward to breaking down the rest of that. I love that DC had a great weekend too, and him and Ralph's had good horse picks for everybody who is watching both shows. We really appreciate you. Please make sure that you are subscribed to our YouTube channel as well as Ralph Siracco's on Race Day Las Vegas. But anything else? Oh, I did want to ask, did you make any bets yet? Because I do have 2 for the Super Bowl already, but these are bets I made before maybe even division games. So I have some long shots for MVP that are no longer there. But anything for you so far for the Super Bowl?
Not with this matchup determined. I do have will the NFC or which conference will have the Super Bowl champion. I do have the NFC at a -120, and now we're looking at a -255 there. So feeling pretty good about that one.
Yes, I love that one, definitely. I mean, we talked about it too. We did let people know, because then it was slowly creeping up when they were -1.5, -2.5. So hopefully other people did jump in there. I mean, we still have a game to play, but It's great CLV right now to have the NFC side over the AFC side. Before divisional games, I took a little bit of Rashid Shaheed at 40-1. I figured his number would drop a little bit for MVP. And then I took Cooper Kupp, which It's only $5 on it, but 250 to 1. He's down to 100 to 1. Yeah, I just thought that was crazy. And with his experience of being in the big moment, and maybe they would lean on him. That is one team, and I want to go back and watch some Patriots games for sure. But are they at the top when it comes to offense and the blocking that they all do from every position and for each other? Because I am watching a play happen. I believe that Sam Darnold told Kenneth Walker last second, yeah, hurry up, you're on that side. And you see a block, and I'm like, who was that? And it's Cooper Kupp, right? And it's him. It's Kenneth Walker also does it. Would you say they're one of the best that you've seen?
I think, yeah, both of these teams, yeah, the Seahawks are very good at being, 11 is one, each man understanding their job. But, yeah, I don't necessarily think you get to this game without all 11 playing as one and understanding their responsibilities on every given play. And I know I've seen clips throughout the year of Mike Vrabel kind of giving Stephon Diggs some shit for not blocking and doing his responsibility on plays. So knowing, I mean, Stephon Diggs has never been to this game, has never won a conference championship game. So, every single guy on these two rosters that's going to be dressed in this game is going to be doing every single thing that they can to make sure that they're the ones hosting the trophy.
I've seen those too. You're right. That's why I was thinking. I know that this Patriots team is all about that as well, and you can probably find some really good clips of them all doing their job for each and every play there. That's another great point. Thank you for bringing up. This year we got Cardi B. So when we've got other props coming out, whether it is halftime with Bad Bunny and the songs that will be played, or how many times they'll show Cardi B. So we transition. We got Taylor Swift last couple years. Now we got Cardi B, which will be some fun offshore bets. We'll wait for Matt Neverett. That he'll take care of that whole segment. Don't worry.
Thank you. Yeah, let's give it to Matt.
I know that he loves doing all those offshore and diving into. I'm sure you like the Gatorade color. Maybe.
Yeah.
A little.
Yeah.
We like the player props. I'm with you there. Definitely. All right, let's turn our attention. Let's go into some hockey. And it was a crazy weekend on the ice as well. Some very high scoring games, some unexpected wins as well. But we move forward. We've got 4 today. We do have 1 postponed in Columbus. So no Kings and Blue Jackets game. But we're going to see that a little bit this week with some games being postponed, whether it is hockey or college basketball. And we'll try and keep up with what that really means for their schedule. Right, Ryan? Because that's going to make it really difficult for these college basketball players that are already playing 2 games a week scheduled right now, and then maybe have to fit in a third with all the travel.
Yep. You want to start on the ice?
Let's start on the ice.
All right, we'll go to Tampa, where the Mammoth are taking on the Lightning. It looks like we have the Lightning as a -165 favorite here at the South Point. Plus 145 on the buyback for the Mammoth, and a total at 6 with a -120 to the over.
I think Vince did a great job with the poll there because honestly, 3 of the 4 jumped out to me on dogs that I would be intrigued to take. I'm not going to get involved in this one, but with Utah coming into this winning 5 in a row, you got to adjust the number. So my original number was Tampa Bay -180, but I would give them a little bit back there. I made it 6, so I have nothing in this one, but I could not fault you if you wanted to take a shot with the Mammoth. My only thing is, Tampa Bay coming off a loss, but they won 5 straight of their home games. So that one was on the road. Now they're back home. So I'm not jumping in. What about you, Ryan? You like a puck line with the favorite or taking that plus 145 with the dog?
I would be more inclined to laying the puck line with the Lightning here, getting the plus 160, but it is a stay away for me in this one. The Tampa coming back home, and Utah winners of how many consecutive is it now?
5 straight.
5 straight, and doing pretty good to start this road trip. So it would be, or it is a stay off for me.
I agree. Both of them have a little bit of an over streaks, 3 straight for the Mammoth. 2 Oh, no, one. Actually, just one for Tampa Bay and 2 unders being at home. So, yeah. Can't really find anything in that one.
All right, we'll skip over the postponed one, the Kings in Columbus and the Blue Jackets. That one's going to March 9th there. So we'll go to one playing today, January 26th in Philadelphia. The New York Rangers, a minus 105 underdog on the road. There are even monies in the market. There's even a plus 110 there. But the Flyers, a minus 115 favorite here at the South Point.
I do like this game staying under that total. Looks like it will be Sorokin and Samuel Ersson going. So originally thought it would be Vladar, and that made me like the under even more. But I mean, still, when we got 2 teams, so the Islanders are tied for 24th in goals for. They're 31st on the power play. And then on the other side, the Flyers are 21st in goals for. So Islanders have been on a great stretch. Did not look so good. They're coming off a pretty bad loss themselves. But it's really been Sorokin who's having an outstanding year and leading in a lot of things. 2.5 goals against average and a 914 save percentage. So I like under 6 between these two. Ryan, anything for you?
Well, both of their prior meetings went into overtime tied at 6 and then went into a shootout. The Flyers won both games 4-3 in a shootout. The Flyers are also coming into this one off of a 7-3 win in Colorado. We saw a team win 7-3 in Colorado and then get absolutely obliterated here in Las Vegas, 7-2. That is the Nashville Predators there. So could be a welcome to reality moment, or the Flyers are feeling really, really good. The Islanders are not feeling good. They are coming into this one off of a shutout, 2 straight losses. Did not do very well on their road trip. So first looking at it, it was a look to the Isles, getting that plus 110 best price in the market. But I don't really want to lay the minus 105 here at the South Point Forum. So this one would end up being another stay off for me. But
I think
do like the Isles there.
You bring up great points, though, because you're right. Shutout, the embarrassment factor. So bounce back for them and maybe a little bit of a letdown on the other side for the Flyers coming off that big win. So that would be the side I would look to. And the Flyers playing better on the road than at home right now. Losers of 4 straight in their home games. But yeah, I made this closer to 5.5. Are there 5.5s out there? Is this moving down or?
There are 5.5s out there, but it's minus 125 or minus 130.
Okay. Well. Oh, so you're getting a good plus price if you're going under that 5.5. I'll take the 6, as you mentioned. 2 first games tied at 6 going into overtime. So hoping that does not happen today. I'm going 6 under minus 115.
All right. Going to one priced the same, but with the road team being the minus 115 in Madison Square Garden. The Bruins are minus 115 here at the South Point. The Rangers are minus 105 here at the South Point, and the total is 6.5 with the juice to the under.
Makes sense with how the Rangers have played at home this year, right? Them being a small dog. I do have them slightly favored, minus 115. Nothing for me sidewise. Rangers are losers of 3 straight, though. Bruins have won 2 straight. I like the under as well in this one at 6.5. I believe that number is 6.5, though, because it will not be Jeremy Swayman. There was a goalie change today. And Jonathan Quick is still playing there for Shesterkin. So I think 6.5 is too high. I worry a little bit. We could get couple goals in bunches, which we have seen from both of these teams, but I just think it's too high number-wise. What do you think?
Not just have we seen goals in bunches from these teams, but we saw goals in bunches in their last meeting in Boston, where the Bruins won 10-2, which was just over 2 weeks ago. So I'm sure the Rangers still have that kind of taste in their mouth, and would like to maybe earn some respect back, but I don't think it happens. I think the Bruins, we've seen them on my top 10 both weeks and teams I'd like to trust. So I know they've played in some tight games recently, but I'll be laying them $1.50, getting the $2 there with the Bruins here.
Did not realize the Bruins are 8-2 in their last 10. That's really good. On the other side, the Rangers 2-7-1.
Mm-hmm. Not good.
I wonder if I should just go Rangers team total under. We know how they are at home, Madison Square Garden, and then I don't have to worry about the Boston Bruins. I think I like that better, actually. I'll have to check what the number is. But, all right, last but not least.
Final one here of the night, up in Edmonton, where the Ducks are a plus 220 underdog. They are featured in today's poll, and the total is a 7 with a minus 125 to the under.
I cannot believe we have got a 7 here. I did make it 7. I'm going to be honest. Actually, kind of flipped. I've got it 7 over -5. So I could not look at the under, but I think that number is crazy here for Edmonton. I just think it's too high, and I've been slowly raising the Ducks, and Edmonton's been kind of all over the place, but Anaheim 7-3 in their last 10. They're on a 7-game winning streak. They've won 4 straight road games. Edmonton is not playing great. Yes, they've won their last one, but I don't know. Before then, I mean, they took advantage of a Capitals team that is reeling even worse than them. So I've got a 166. That's a nice big difference there. I think I got to go both ways, though. I got to take the Ducks money line and take the Ducks plus 1.5 minus 115, kind of split up the bet there.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I do like the plus puck-and-a-half there, minus the 115, but I do think that the Ducks absolutely have an opportunity to keep their win streak rolling. But it is the second of a back-to-back for the Anaheim Ducks. They did win last night in Calgary. Didn't have to leave Alberta there. But 4-3 in overtime. They are 4-2-1 this year on the second of a back-to-back. And they also don't play again until Thursday. Neither of these teams really play again until Thursday. But the Ducks are still on a road trip here. Anaheim had lost 9 straight and 13 of 15 before starting this 7-game win streak. So we've kind of seen several teams this year go through lulls, go through their valleys, but definitely a good time to peak heading into the Olympic break. Feel good about yourself. So winners of 4 of their last 7 in overtime or shootouts, so playing some really tight games, and have won 3 straight on the road, part of their 5-game road trip. That's all for the Ducks there. Edmonton is in the 5th of an 8th-game homestand, coming in, you mentioned, off of the win against the Capitals, a really dramatic win against the Capitals, a 6-5 overtime win, ton of goals as we get used to with the Edmonton Oilers. But they, as I mentioned, are on an 8-game homestand, and then the final game before the Olympic break is in Calgary. So they don't have to leave Alberta, the Providence of Alberta, for over 2 weeks.
Jeez.
So they get some good home cooking. But it would be a look to the Ducks. Again, another 2-unit there on the plus 220.
All right, I'm doing it. Definitely. I like what you said, too. 4-2-1 on their back-to-back. That's pretty good. You can't find another team that's, I don't know.
Yeah, I will take a look and kind of see what all the teams are on first and second and back-to-backs. We know that the Red Wings have really struggled on the second.
Yep.
But those are the really only 2 teams that I've been able to look at. But the Ducks, 4-2-1 this year on the second of a back-to-back.
I like it. Taking a shot there. Okay, and then we'll go through the poll question. 2 of them. We had 2 college basketball on there as well. I don't have anything in the Tarleton game. That Louisville game, though, I was looking at. So that is fascinating because the first matchup, the Cardinals were leading in the first half at home, 47-38. They found a way to lose that one. I think they only put up 26 in the second half. They lost 73-62 at home. You got the home revenge. I mean, Duke is the better team. We know this. They're a very good all-around team. But I think the Cardinals can keep it close. I think I'm going to go full game, though, plus 8.5. Even though I was debating going first half or full game, taking the points there between them. Their only loss in the last 4 games is Virginia, who is ranked as well. Won 3 of their last 4, the Cardinals have. So 8.5, too many points, home revenge. If you want to go first half, I don't fault you at all, though. And that's all I really have for college college basketball. Do we have poll results? Did anybody else jump in? Are they taking the money line plus 330 with Louisville?
No. There might be a few viewers in there that are taking it, but we did have a tie between which plus money line would you be taking today on Monday, and they are both in the NHL games that we gave you. So we got a 38% tie from our viewers in with the Mammoth plus 145 in Tampa, and then the Ducks plus 220 in Edmonton. Louisville did get 14% of the vote though, getting the plus 330 there at Duke, and then Abilene Christian only 10% of the vote, getting the plus 180 at Tarleton State.
Not enough. Not enough in that one. I do kind of lean to taking the points there, but I think I'm going to go first half. I wish I was actually getting a 5. So maybe if you're not betting these early and you kind of wait around, you might get a 5 with Louisville later, first half. It was 7.5 full game yesterday. Now it's up to 8.5. So I got to imagine more of the public loving Duke coming into this one, laying it at home. And those free throws, though, scare me at the end to extend that lead. So we'll go first half. All right, Ryan, do you want to go ticker trivia, or do you need to get your board ready?
I do have to kind of write up my board, but I can do ticker trivia.
Okay.
And then we can go to yours. So ticker trivia presented by City Light Shine. Again, available at Lee's Discount Liquor, Total Wine, and here at the South Point Hotel and Casino. It is an Olympic question for you guys today, because on this date in sports history, 70 years ago today, the 7th Winter Olympic Games commenced in Cortina d'Ampezzo, Italy. Further broken down into 8 disciples, which 4 sports were contested in these 1956 games? And the answer would be 1956 Winter Games. Athletes competed in bobsleigh, ice hockey, skating, and skiing. Skating included the disciplines of speed skating and figure skating. Skating included those. Skiing included competitions in alpine and 3 disciplines of Nordic skiing. The city of Cortina d'Ampezzo will once again host the Winter Olympic Games next month, along with the city of Milan. JR did get the answer correct today.
Nice. I feel like we could have got maybe all 4 of those. 3 out of 4, guessing. What do you think?
Yeah, I probably would have missed the bobsleigh.
Yeah, you're right. I probably would have missed bobsled.
But hockey, skating, and skiing, I probably could have gotten. Yeah.
Good job to JR. Getting another trivia winner there. All right, I'll start it off. We'll go whiteboards. We'll let Ryan take a second and get his whiteboard ready for this Monday, January 26th. We got to get some winners this week. Starting on the ice, I am going with the under here, Islanders and Flyers. Ryan mentioned it, 2 games this year that did go into overtime. I don't think that happens again here. Kind of think the Islanders get this win in a low-scoring battle with Sorokin playing as good as he has been. Next up, I'm going with the Ducks, taking a shot here. I'm going to take the puck line, plus 1.5. I think they can keep it close against Edmonton, minus 115. I'm also going to take them on the money line, plus 220. Winners of 7 straight, Anaheim is, and I think they could keep it going. Definitely make it tough for the Oilers. And then I should probably put first half. College basketball, first half, Louisville, plus 4.5. They were leading 47-38 in the first matchup at home. Be a little tougher on the road, but I think they'll come out swinging ready for this one, especially against a big opponent like Duke. So taking first half there for the Cardinals. Ryan, what say you? Best bets on this Monday?
Both plus $2. Boston Bruins minus the puck and a half in New York against the Rangers, and the Anaheim Ducks money line plus 220 there at Edmonton against the Oilers. 2 unit.
2? Going for 2 to 1. I like them both too. All right, let's get some winners. Last thing I want to say, it's on my mind about the Super Bowl coming up here, Super Bowl 60. The only way I would bet the Patriots, a small bet potentially, is Drake May MVP, because you're getting a much better price than that plus 190. And I think if they win it, kind of to Chris's point, it's going to be outplaying Sam Darnold in their offense, right? I don't know. We'll dive into it more, but that's the way I'm looking at it right now. I think it's like 3-1 for him MVP. Just think there's a lot more value. I don't have anybody else really in mind and who I would like on that side if I was looking for the Patriots' best bet. So
I guess I am just kind of giving my thoughts on that and kind of going to Chris's point of if the Patriots are to win this game, it might be a more defensive battle to where it's kind of anybody's award to make a play and win it with one instance.
True. Yeah.
So whether it be a defensive touchdown in a key situation, that kind of thing. And for the quarterbacks, the more offense we get, Chris's point would that kind of favors the Seahawks and them being able to get it done. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Just throwing both of our ideas out there, kind of push back too. If you like the Patriots, don't automatically just bet Drake May and think that you're getting a better value and that is a lock, right? But I could see him running it in for a touchdown too. Definitely has been capable of that. And we just saw it. That was their one score in the last game. But we'll dive into it more. That's just kind of what I was thinking as a potential small bet hedge, right? If I do have most of my props leaning on the other side with the Seahawks team. I believe it was Agent 87 that said he loves the Seahawks now. He's a fan now, Seattle fan now for the rest of this run because I believe he is a Broncos fan. But
yeah, with his Broncos profile picture.
Yes,
rooting for the Seahawks there.
Now going for Seattle. Looking forward to this on a rematch between the Seahawks and the Patriots. We'll be breaking it down all week. As I mentioned, please subscribe to the YouTube channel because we will have some free stand-in videos coming out, talking with other people, really breaking down this game, getting their thoughts and their best bets. So that's it for us on this Monday. One more thing.
Yeah, we did have Joey B in the chat listing some lines for some things, but he did ask if we will be having an Olympic hockey segment while the games are going on. And yes, Joey B, we will. We will also have Eddie Olczyk, Eddie O, joining us from Italy to give us thoughts on how the games are going. We'll looking to set a date there, but we will have Eddie O on the show to talk Olympics.
Can't wait for that one, definitely. So glad that we got to preview that too.
We also do have odds up for which team will win gold in curling, both men's and women's curling and men's and women's ice hockey here at the South Point.
Very good. I will not be handicapping those. I don't know. We'll have to get a professional specific to those sports. But yes, because we have everything here at the South Point. All right, that's it for us. I'll take a look at Joey B's lines that he had put up after the show. We'll be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. And we'll be back Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday live, 10 a.m. and Friday at noon. As always, for Ryan McCormick, for the whole crew, and Jerry, Sean, Vince, and Andrew, I'm Alex White. Thank you guys for watching. Please hit that like button on your way out, and good luck tonight. Hit all your bets. You've been watching Sports by the Book.